Commissioner Sweet. Bueller. See, it worked. Commissioner Sweet, is that you?
John.
Hi. Great. It is 9:30 exactly, so I'll ask you all to rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, our first agenda item is citizen comments. Dick, that's you. I think you're going to have to turn that on. And I think it's right in front. There you go.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Last week I was over at Roseburg and coming back, I stopped there at Sandy Creek rest area,
Yeah,
and the bathrooms are still locked up.
they are.
When are they gonna be open? I mean, it's a mess out there behind some of them other buildings and stuff where people's gone. I mean, you look around and it's not just that bathroom, it's other bathrooms that government has got locked up. And then they need to be open when people are out traveling or moving.
Commissioner Sweet, do you want to talk about this topic, or do you want?
Sure, I'll go ahead and talk about it briefly.
Thanks.
The initial concern has been, Dick, that we can't keep that bathroom sanitized enough to be safe to use in this environment with the virus that we have. We're looking at a different approach, and just to tell people that it's not sanitized and use at your own risk. But that doesn't necessarily absolve us from having legal problems over that. So we're kind of caught between a rock and a hard spot. I think there are some new directives out from the state we're looking at to see if there's a way of doing it, but I'm not making any promises yet. It's not a good situation.
So under the governor's guidance for reopening, we're supposed to be sanitizing them twice a day, John?
That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Twice a day?
Twice a day. And it's really difficult with our park staff to get somebody out there twice a day to sanitize any of those restrooms. So we really struggle with that question of how can we keep those restrooms open? Because we're not the only county in the state that's struggling with this question. And we know other places have actually opened theirs because people are just pooping right outside the bathroom.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, a threat to public health, too, because there's other diseases that can be transmitted that way. So
You're taking one problem, making a bigger problem.
exactly. So it's
Yeah.
something that Commissioner Sweet, I know, has been working really hard on and trying to figure out a solution with public health to how we can get that open, especially Sandy Creek. You know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that count on being able to stop there on their way back and forth from Roseburg.
If we go to phase 2, will that allow it to be open?
I don't know that we've seen change in guidance on outdoor recreation, have we, Commissioner Sweet?
No.
And you're tracking that much closer than I am.
Yeah. No, we have not.
I haven't noticed either.
It's the guidance we have is that you have to be able to clean the facilities twice a day.
Right.
And I just don't know how we're going to get someone out there twice a day to clean that facility.
I don't either, but thank you for working on that,
All right.
and thanks for mentioning
Right.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dick.
All right, with that, we will move to our regular agenda. And the first item on the agenda is request approval of contract with Columbia Care / Pony Creek, Coos Health and Wellness. Eric?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gotta get the right piece of paper here. This contract with Columbia Care, Pony Creek, provides room and board for Coos Health and Wellness behavioral health clients, and it's backdated to January through the end of this month so that we can negotiate a new contract for next year.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, move to
Move we
approve.
approve and sign the behavioral health contract with Columbia Care - Pony Creek.
Okay,
A second.
discussion?
How many units do we have here, Eric?
Oh, it's changed a few times, and I'm not completely sure what the number is currently.
All right.
I'll get that for you, though. I'll ask David.
All right, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next agenda item is contract with Carmelita Thompson. Eric?
Yeah, this is again a behavioral health contract with Carmelita Thompson. It's for clinical supervision for employees who are working towards getting licensed.
Okay. Motion?
Was
Commissioner
waiting
Main, would you give a motion?
for- Okay. Madam Chair, move to approve and sign behavioral health contract with Carmelita
Carmelita.
Thompson for clinical supervision.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, move to approve the consent calendar.
All right.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Eric, before you go, I saw you were out there helping with that search yesterday. Oh, you have another agenda item, but
I do.
I saw you were out there helping with that search yesterday, and thank you for that work. I know it wasn't easy.
It's an unfortunate situation, but it's one that affects our community as a whole. And as a parent, and as a county employee, and as a board member for the North Bend High School, I felt obligated to get out there and try to do what I could to help out.
Mm.
Thank you for that. And thanks, Steve Ryan, too. On that note, your next agenda item is request approval to reclass Emergency Preparedness Program Manager position.
Yes, on March 3rd of this year, the board approved the revised job description for the Emergency Services Manager position under the Coos County Sheriff's Office. Upon request by Coos Health and Wellness, Human Resources conducted a pay equity analysis between that position and Public Health's Emergency Preparedness Program Manager. The result of the analysis is that both positions are comparable, requiring similar knowledge, skill, effort, responsibility, and working conditions. Therefore, we would respectfully request the Board of Commissioners approve reclassifying the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Program Manager position from the non-union pay grade 756 to the non-union pay grade 729 to bring the position in line with the pay grade of the Emergency Services Manager position, effective May 1 of this year. Also, we would request the Board approve attached Resolution 20-04-061P reclassifying Philip Nell from pay grade 756 to 729, effective May 1.
Okay? Do we have a motion? And then we'll discuss.
I move approval.
Okay, a second? I will second. Discussion? Commissioner Main, do you have anything you would like to discuss about this?
So I'm a bit puzzled here. It says there was a pay equity analysis between that position, which is the one that the captain took over for $600 a month, that was a full-time previous position, saving the county $80-some thousand. And that is supposedly being compared to the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Program Manager, which is, as I believe, the job that person's doing now and has been doing.
Yes.
So I don't see the comparison. The $600 was for a whole position with the county that the captain took over as Emergency Services Director. I don't see how that is directly related to a program manager whose job it is and has been to be that program manager and justify a raise somehow for that person that's already doing that job. I am a bit puzzled.
All right, Caroline Barr, HR. So the actual comparison was not between the position that Philip now occupies and the one that Captain Fabrizio occupies. The analysis was strictly between the position that Philip Nell currently occupies and the position that is currently vacant that Michael Murphy used to occupy.
It's not vacant, though. It was taken over by the captain at $600 a month. There's no vacant position anymore in the budget for 2021. In fact, even currently, we started the captain, I think, last month at $600 a month to do that full-time position.
Right, so when I did the analysis, I looked specifically at that emergency program manager, which the board approved in March, and the public health emergency program manager, and I put those two job descriptions side by side.
So I'm curious,
And it,
the job, it was a full-time job that the captain took on besides his captain duties at $600 a month. How does that compare to the job that this person requesting an increase, whose normal job is that job? I don't quite understand that.
right, and it's a good question. That
Yes.
position that Captain Fabrizio currently occupies is $500 a month,
Oh,
not
500,
$600,
I'm
just for
sorry.
the
I
record.
overdid it.
And it's a temporary,
No, it's not. Not in my estimation. It was taken over as permanently.
right, but if at any time, if there becomes funding available for that position, then I'm assuming that those duties would be taken away from Captain
We don't know
Fabrizio
that.
and go back to that position, which is,
But we don't know that.
So,
right.
Sheriff, did you have a comment?
In line of just clarification, I also want to make clear that Captain Fabrizio did take over the majority of that task, but he is not capable of doing all those. The additional responsibilities that lie with the emergency manager in this case has also been spread amongst other members of my staff to be able to complete that project in an effort to balance our budget. So that workload, a large chunk of it goes Captain Fabrizio, but he doesn't and does not have time to completely do all that. It's been spread amongst the staff to keep that position and save the county the expense of that position.
Okay, thank you.
Which was a savings, if I remember correctly, of $80,000. There wasn't any other reason to do that other than to try and balance the meager budget that we have. And it was just an opportune because the emergency manager for the entire county vacated his position and went to another location outside of the county. So that was a way for the sheriff's office to conserve and still keep that position, sort of, but not really, but save us $80,000 budget, and we finally got balance. So I'm having a hard time comparing that to the person who already does that job for the health department and the health department only, whereas the other position that the captain took over is for the entire county and all the county departments, et cetera.
So Commissioner, I hear you saying that you have serious concerns about this. Would you like to set a work session so we can have a more in-depth
Probably,
discussion about
yeah, because I'm not really settled on this thing. It doesn't seem comparable.
it? Okay.
All right.
Commissioner Sweet, do you object to tabling this motion?
That would be fine with me.
Okay, so
Good idea.
this motion will be tabled, and Bobby, if you can set a work session when you get back. Great. Thank you so much, Caroline. All right, John, what do you have? We're feeling feisty today. Request approval of amendment number 1 to ODOT Fund Exchange Agreement 33459. Maybe not so much on that one.
Not so much. Yes, with the bids came in higher than expected, so,
Just Eric, I think.
yeah, so we had to get additional money out of the STP fund, another $100,000, which are part of that 474,759. The new total amount is about 28,500. That's
Okay.
what we're paying, so.
Madam Chair, move to approve and sign agreement number 01-2019 ODOT Fund Exchange Agreement number 33459 for the West Central Boulevard Bike Lane Sidewalks Curb Additions SRTS project.
Great.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
It's a good deal.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. 2020 ODOT Fund Exchange Agreement 34273 for Coos County Paving Project.
And with our leftover STP money, We're gonna do the Coos County paving project for this year. We're gonna do a stretch on South Coos River, Catching Slough, and Lampa, or, Libby Lane.
Oh, great.
Keep it saying Lampa.
Okay.
Okay, Madam Chair, move to approve sign the 2020 ODOT Fund Exchange Agreement 34273 for the 2020 Coos County paving project.
All right. And I will
I
second.
second
Okay.
that.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor?
Right?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then we have a contract amendment with HGE, which
I'll
need-
do that one
Okay.
too. For solid waste. The thing is here, we never had a good, clear, accurate geotechnical report on where hard pan is there. So we wanna, this may save us money in the long run, instead of digging pits and putting a poured footing from hard pan all the way up to set the new building on. We might be able to drive piling with a pile cap, which we can save a lot of money doing that. So
Right.
that's what we're trying to find out with this.
Huh?
Right?
Madam Chair, move to approve the Strata Design quote for geotechnical services and sign the contract amendment with HGE Architects, Inc. in the amount of $10,544.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? We appreciate you thinking about that ahead of
Yeah.
time. Much better. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, John.
That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
And that is it for our regular agenda item. I understand that we have a motion to add a late agenda item.
I do, Madam Chair. Has to do with the support for the Army Corps extending the North Jetty to make it safe for our fishing fleet. They're proposing having an extension. We've lost approximately 1,000 feet of jetty due to storms, et cetera, and it's become very dangerous on the bar because of the low water levels at certain times, and the waves coming into the side makes it very, very rough. So they're going to extend the jetty, and we received an email from the Port of Coos Bay asking for support. So
Great.
I proposed a support letter for the Army Corps to extend the North Jetty.
All right, so let's do a motion first to add the late agenda item.
I move approval of the late agenda item.
Second?
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then a motion to send a letter.
I move approving Bob sending a letter on behalf of the Board of Commissioners supporting the jetty extension.
You had me at Bob. I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I knew I wasn't quite fast enough.
Any other agenda items?
Nope.
I know Commissioner Main has another call, and I have another meeting that I'm going to get pulled into as soon as I get a message, but
I think John has to be on the call too.
yeah. I think briefly, the only commissioner comments that we want to make sure everybody's aware of is Phase 2,
Mhm.
and the fact that we've submitted our letter to go into Phase 2 reopening
Correct.
and expect to hear this week.
Probably
Wednesday or
Thursday, Friday, I would hope.
Yeah.
A little bit ahead, so the word can get out.
Yeah, there's a press conference tomorrow, I heard
Oh.
late yesterday
Maybe
from
that
the
would be
governor's
good.
office, and maybe it'll be.
Because last
enough.
time we got it just a few hours before
Yep.
the opening, so
Yeah,
I'd like to have a more lead time than just a few hours, like a day or two,
right,
to let everybody know, like, hopefully on Saturday the 6th, the bowling alley would be open, and various other things, so we go to 50 people indoors and 100 people outdoors, that sort of stuff, so maybe the racetrack could open at that time too.
yeah. How many
They
people do they usually have?
Probably don't have more than 100 out there
Okay,
most of the time. So that would be good for both entities.
yeah, absolutely.
So we're anxiously waiting. Well, I would expect we would be approved. I mean, from what I read of the guidelines, we're well within the limitations.
That's what I think too.
Mhm.
Commissioner Sweet, anything you're just dying to say before we get off the phone?
Parks are broadening their opening. We taken a very cautious, phased approach to reopening our parks, and starting this weekend, we'll be open to without limits to where people come from. We really, at first, limited it to occupancy to county citizens, and we broadened it to neighboring counties, but now we're opening it to everyone. That's in keeping with what the state parks will be doing when they open. I think it's next week, and what the private parks are already doing. And we are opening the parks for camping as well, so that you don't have to own an RV or a travel trailer to spend the night at one of our parks.
Now, John, speaking
Yes.
of parks, at Riley, I know we have the parking lot shut down because they're doing
Right.
construction out there.
Yeah.
Weekend after this one, the motocross people are having a big motocross meet out there. I assume we're not working Friday, Saturday, Sunday out there. Could we utilize that park for them, or for the parking spots, so they have someplace to park? John's
I
nodding
think
his
they
head in
have
the
their own
background.
property, don't they? They can park on.
What?
I think they have. Don't they have their own property they can park on? Or-
No, that's basically all taken up with the motocross park. So they would come in with their vehicles and trailers and stuff. I mean, you know, what they haul their
I'll check.
ATVs or motorcycles on and.
Is
park
John
there.
Rowe still there?
Yes.
John's here, he's nodding his head that would be okay, I believe.
Oh, okay.
John, you want to come
That's good.
forward?
Hey. Yeah. problem
John's
solved.
coming on up. John Rowe, that is.
Yeah, I didn't know about it, but I'm headed out there right after this, and I'll make sure they open it for the weekend.
Okay,
Thanks, John.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, John.
That'll be good. I'll let Jason know that.
All right. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Madam Chair, I guess there's quite a discussion about Lakeside allowing ATVs.
Yes.
And I don't know what's going to happen, but I told the mayor and one of the other people that we're happy whichever way, at least I am. I can't speak for you or John, but I'm happy either way they decide whether they allow them or don't allow them. They would just, if they do allow, they would need our approval to use 8th Street,
Right.
which is a county road right through the middle of Lakeside, oddly enough.
So if they do decide to allow it, we'd probably want to go ahead and schedule a work session with Public Works and the City of Lakeside and sit down and iron out. I mean, this is going to be one of those things where the devil's in the details, and we need to iron that out and make sure that everybody has clear expectations going into it, if that's something
Yeah.
they want to pursue.
Yeah, parameters, speed
I
limits.
agree
And
with that.
probably
I
law
would add
enforcement,
to the people that should be in attendance to have the sheriff there, because I think that the citizens of Lakeside need to be well aware of what we will be able to do in the way of enforcement or not do in the way of enforcement.
The sheriff's sitting here, and he says he will definitely be at that meeting.
I would hope, think.
You made eye contact with me. That was as good as I'll be there.
Good.
I understood the same thing, Madam Chair.
Yeah, there we
From
go.
the sheriff, he gave you the eye that said, yeah, I'll be there.
Can't wait.
Mhm.
All right. All right, well, on that note, I believe we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.